Hello and welcome to the April Outturn Podcast. What was it like working with this guy? How did you last so long?
Oh, you started off being so mean already. One thing that everybody always says about this distillery, waxy.
You can't have a drop without saying the word waxy.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. I don't know the next line, luckily for you.
I'm Richard Gosselin, joined by my trusty sidekick, Calum Lawson. How you doing, Calum?
Very well, thank you.
Good. I'm delighted to have Anthony Delcros joining us this month. Well-known face from the society. You've worked everywhere, Tony.
Yeah,
Queen
Street.
He's been around.
Queen
Bath
Street, Bath Street, assistant manager in Glasgow for quite a while.
Yeah.
Now heading up tastings around the UK, right?
Yep.
What are you up to these days with the society?
Well, right now, funnily enough, we've got quite a few festivals happening coming up to April, March, and then following that, then it's building up to the whole big kind of regional festival season with Spirit of Speyside,
Yeah.
Fay Sheila, and the Campbeltown Festival.
Yeah.
And then in between that, there's loads of other kind of proper SMWS events that are kind of weaved into that in terms of like what we would call the EMT, so just members tastings across the country.
Yeah, brilliant.
But, yeah.
So all in all, how long have you been with the society? Quite a few years now.
So I started in spring 2016.
How old were you? Just a young, sprightly lad?
I was still 21.
And you were working just like a bartender, or you?
Yeah. It was actually a waiter at back when the restaurant was down on the ground floor. Did that for it was
Seems
just
like the restaurant's been on every floor of that venue.
it has. Yeah, exactly.
I never knew it was on the ground floor as well.
Better off, save you going up and down
Well,
these
it's close
stairs.
to
I know.
Just
Yeah,
above
exactly. It was really nice. Like I thought it was pretty cool. It was small, but it was good fun. But that was literally like a month or two before they did the first refurb. I don't know if you remember that when then we moved the restaurant up to the first floor.
Yeah.
Did that waiter, and then moved into being a bar manager within a few months after that when we opened the K bar in the ground floor in the bottom floor.
Yeah.
And that's the non-members bar. And that was the first time we've done a non-members bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still the only place that non-members can go in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Get a wee taste of the society, sign up as a member, then you get to go up the stairs.
Exactly. That was the whole the whole plan. And the other thing as well behind it, which was why I was kind of brought in, was my background was heavily focused on hospitality, and spent a little bit of time working in kind of cocktail bars and that kind of thing. And at that stage, SMWS was quite immature in that kind of sense for anything that was relative to cocktails and stuff. So they wanted to bring that element in Kaleidoscope Bar and then through the other venues. Yeah, brought in a bit of experience in that side. But there was loads of other teammates that were quite experienced in cocktails as well. So.
Yeah.
And did that for until 2018, and then I moved to Canada for a wee while to travel, which I actually kind of didn't work directly for the society, but did all the society tastings in Vancouver for the members over there until 2020 when I moved to Glasgow. And
He moved especially because we heard that I was taking the job.
He'd
He'd heard great things about me, and he really wanted to work
your
alongside me.
right-hand man.
He was like my protege, you know. Like I feel responsible. I feel responsible. That sounds like it's a bad thing. I take full credit for the young man that he's brought into.
What was it like working with this guy? How did you last so long?
Oh, you started off being so mean already.
I think to give it some context, the best way to put it is that he was called Daddy and I was called Mammy. That was the.
I had no idea what you were going to say there, but that is true. They used to call me father, and he was a mother. Yeah.
That was
he would
good
deal
fun.
with more of the emotional side, and I would. I don't know. It was good. We had a really. All joking aside, we had a really good team there when we first opened. And we were like a family. And
it was just a shame because you just started in Bath Street and then COVID came in.
Yeah.
What, almost exactly 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
March 2020, and we just opened up the venue and then had to kind of close the doors again for.
Yeah, it was like 10 days, and
it was open for 10 days, and then as we went in and out,
and then we had to kind of gradually come out of the restrictions. So we were, when we were open, it was like there was social distancing and the reduced capacity, and we wore masks in the venue for so long. It's absolutely bonkers to think that I mean, how difficult it is talking to people and talking about whiskey and serving at a table with a mask on. It's just just bonkers. Yeah.
So you're travelling around quite a lot nowadays doing the, what do you call them, external member tastings. So you basically take the show on the road and get around all over the country?
Yeah, I do a bit of it, but I've obviously got a team of like brand ambassadors as well that help out, and because like this year we're doing events from as far as Inverness to like Southampton, so it's going across like the entirety of the UK. So I've got a team of other BAs that can help out and host tastings and work at festivals and stuff.
What's the idea? Like, if you're a member of the society, and not everyone obviously can get to one of the members' rooms in Edinburgh, Glasgow, or London, then there's a good chance you're going to have something fairly local that comes along every so often.
Yeah, I mean the what I'm trying to work as hard as possible on is trying to get the society as close to any member's doorstep, really. But that that's also just works for the society, and that we just try to get as many members together as possible. It's just anything that's any kind of tangible SMWS experience outside of venues. That's what I'm in charge of, basically. And that can be through a tasting, or it can be through a partnership with another business, or it could be doing loads of festivals and things like that.
Yeah. Working with partner bars as well.
Yeah.
Young man's job, Richard.
Oh, I couldn't bear to be out and about like that. No,
socialising at the weekends, late at night.
I've had my time, Calum. Don't get me wrong. Being out
I'm
and
sure
about.
you did, Richard. I'm sure you did.
At this point, I'm like, leave it to the young ones.
I don't know why I'm saying that, because I only just stopped it like a year and a half ago.
Young whippersnapper.
I should have given it up a long time ago. But that's what I was going to say. When I came to work for the society, I wanted to work in whisky, and I was trying not. I'd worked in hospitality for such a long time, and I wasn't looking for a hospitality job. But that came up, and I was like, oh, it kind of seems perfect for me with my experience, and I'll learn so much about whisky, and it was totally the best choice ever. And we really did have a great team when we first opened. We got a really good reputation for that venue, and it's still doing smashing.
Oh, great place.
No, it was a great crack. I always reminisce about it when driving 300 miles. And I just go, it's just so much easier when I lived just down the road from Bath Street and just rocked up, did my shift. And like Glasgow members were just great crack and really nice. I always reminisce about it.
It's a good city as well, Anthony. You enjoyed your time there, didn't you?
More than Edinburgh.
I would live in Edinburgh. I would live in Glasgow. But I mean, both cities complement each other. They're great.
No, that's true.
That's very diplomatic.
I've been more appreciative of Edinburgh since I've been working in the new head office. And I think it's a great city.
No, it's beautiful. It's a very romantic city.
It's a better looking city than Edinburgh.
All right, moving on. But you spent a long time working in whisky, so you must have had. Where was the drive to get into the whisky world? Where did that come from?
So I grew up in France, did a catering college, and the plan was to actually become a sommelier and work in wine. And through college, I got introduced to whisky a little bit, and the main thing that got me into it really was where my mum got me a whisky book written by Charlie MacLean, actually, which was translated in French. And then I just carried that book all around the whole time. I was like 17, and I just loved the history and the legacy. And obviously I'm born in Ireland, so I've got dual nationality, and I've just left Ireland when I was 8, and just wanted to leave France and move back to Ireland. And discovering this was just like, oh, this is like a good compromise. I think I could maybe dabble into like whiskey, and that would get me closer to Ireland. And at the time I was just kind of thinking Ireland, Scotland, it was pretty similar. And then through that I just decided once I graduated, I'm just going to go to Scotland and like see what happens from there. And just worked around. Actually lived in Aberdeen first, and then moved down to Edinburgh about less than a year after that. Worked in hospitality, cocktails, and then there was an opportunity with the Scotch Malt Whisky Society to join the team, and got the job.
I love that, because you're not the first person we've spoken to that's moved to Scotland for the whisky. I love that idea, that our country attracts people from all over the place because of the whisky.
I've tried to leave. I went to Canada. I was planning on like there's a chance of me staying there. But then I was actually like, I'm just missing. I just need to be close to the source. Like I was still involved in the industry and everything, but I had to go back.
Yeah.
And it was a great opportunity with Glasgow as well. I was like starting a whole new members room in a new location. I thought that was just really exciting.
Yeah.
And then I met Calum through that. So.
And it's been true love.
Yeah.
Wow.
First sight.
Wow. Okay. Well, we've got a lot to cover. As you said, Tony, we're heading into festival season.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of festival bottlings coming out at the end of April to kind of coincide with Spirit of Speyside, and then we move into May and we'll see bottlings for the Campbeltown Festival and for the Islay Festival, of course. So let's drink some whiskey. You want to open that one up?
Yeah, sure.
So you're heading to to Islay again this year? Or
Heading
well,
to
you're
Islay.
heading everywhere.
Yeah, I'm
Speyside
doing all three.
And Campbeltown and Islay.
Yeah, yeah.
And organising the events. And what's on the cards?
Well, so the first one is Spirit of Speyside, which is happening. So our events are happening on the 2nd of May on the Friday, where we're going to do a bit of a off the beaten track experience. We're going to work with Michelle from Spey Tours.
Yeah.
In Dufton, and she's going to take us out foraging around Dufton. We're going to walk past a few distilleries and old sites and talk a bit about the history of whiskey in Speyside. And then I'll have a bit of juice to keep the conversation lubricated, I guess.
Nice.
But there'll be some like banging drams.
Yeah.
And we'll be going past Distillery 76, for instance. So we'll
Yeah.
stop there, have a little piece of shortbread and a nice wee dram with it as well.
Yeah. Brilliant.
We won't have the chance to visit.
You could have just said what
the
the distillery name was because we're not drinking it right now, right? I'm always
I
keen to
guess
throw it in
so.
whenever you can.
No, we're not drinking it right now, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's on the list. No.
No, it's not.
No.
on the list.
So foraging.
Yeah.
Picking up some bits and pieces, and then
There's going to be like I can't remember what you call it now, like just birch sap tapping or something like that. So she's got to prepare it the day before, but we'll go there and see how we can extract the water, the birch sap, because
Okay.
apparently that's an element that's been brought in
Yeah.
to whiskey. There's a few guys that are
there's
starting
a
to play
company
around with
that
it.
sells the birch sap water or something, isn't
Yeah.
there?
But it's just water. It's not. It's
Uh,
not actually like viscous like.
Yeah, it's
sap,
got,
is
it's
it?
got a bit of a flavour to it. It's a bit. Haven't tried
I
it
don't
with
know.
whiskey yet, but like it's
It's quite pretty interesting.
yeah. So we'll try it out. It's a bit of an experience. But she's also a great cook because I went to visit her last year to talk about this, and I think she's got a bit of a French influence in the way that she cooks and stuff. So she's got a few little nibbles to keep us going through the journey.
Nice.
So it's a nice little addition as well to it.
Yeah, brilliant. That
and
sounds
then
great.
in the evening we're doing more of an old and rare tasting with the Quake Partner Bar at Craig
Yeah.
Elkie Hotel. Be hosted by Olaf Mayer, and yeah, that'll be like banging drams,
Of
like
course.
6 drams, some old fall collections, black labels,
Yeah.
all
Nice.
Speyside, and a nice 3-course dinner.
With a great host. That
Yeah,
sounds great.
exactly.
Yeah. So that kind of kicks things off. So this is 10.284 ginger roll mop sushi phantasmagoria, and it's one of 501. This isn't. It's not entirely new, but it's a series we're calling 2 to 1, and you can tell there's a wee stamp on the label 2 to 1, and each one of these says this is a small batch release made by marrying the contents of 2 casks, and
When two become one.
when 2 become
It's a
1.
Spice Girls song, right?
How does it go again, Calum?
Oh God, I don't. I could sing it. I would sing it.
On you go.
Need some love like I never needed love before. Gonna give some to ya, baby.
When 2 becomes 1.
Yeah.
Very good. That's beautifully done.
Is that lighting the mood a little bit for you, Anthony?
Yeah.
What happened when Anthony joined Bath Street?
Yes, it is. I've got a funny story about Anthony at Bath Street. I mean, it's a compliment to me, but people sometimes think that we might be related. But at one time I was at my member's table and he said to me, oh, I don't know, we both get brown eyes and dark hair. My hair's gone grey the last few years, maybe not. We're both very good looking, you
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
you know,
I can tell.
handsome.
Yeah.
And I remember said to me, oh, I think it was your son that just served me or said that you have to ask you about this. I was like, my son?
So
And then I was like, it clicked and I was like, you
So it wasn't mummy and daddy.
bastard!
It was mummy and eldest son.
Well, yeah, exactly. He told somebody that was his dad, and the worst part is they believed him. There was a few years between us, but I mean,
Very good. So this is one of the 2 to 1 bottles, and there's a release of a few of them to coincide with festival season. So I think the concept is
I don't know why I put it
an
down.
ultra small batch, and it's 2 casks of single malt from the same distillery that have undergone some different form of maturation and have been
Brought
married
together.
and then bottled.
Mhm.
So unlike our Heresy, which is a small batch blend,
Mhm.
which might be a couple of thousand bottles, this is basically the contents of 2 casks which have come together
Yeah.
and have been bottled. But I spoke to Ewan, our head of whisky creation, to ask him to explain it, and I think he explains it a lot better than I can.
Do you want
So
to? Is this where you insert video
this
here?
is when insert video now.
With the 2-to-1 range, we're looking to create ultra small batch whiskies where we're able to kind of try and find jigsaw pieces that fit together, complementary flavours, light and dark, yin yang. The things to remember about this range is it's all single malt, so it'll be 2 casks from the same distillery. They could be different ages and will most likely be different wood types. On average, you'll have about 240 bottles per single cask, so we're talking maybe double that, up to about 500 bottles. We love a single cask expression and the adventures that those can take you on, so this was just another way for us to explore flavours and present them to our members in a different way. For example, here I've got 2 samples, same distillery. One is bourbon matured, this kind of slightly lighter colour here, lots of vanilla flavour, coconut, toasty oak. And here we have an STR, a shaved toast rechar. It's an ex-wine cask that's undergone that heat treatment process, and that unlocks lots of sort of dark berry flavours. So I was kind of thinking like a crumble, a dark fruits crumble with vanilla custard is the idea. We have 2 routes that we take. Either we will select casks at the kind of peak of their maturation and marry them together just prior to bottling, or we can put 2 casks into one larger cask, for example 2 bourbon hogsheads or barrels into a larger sherry butt, where that then undergoes a period of additional maturation, minimum 2 years, as is our normal policy. It's a bit of an adventure for us in the whisky team to go on to start to learn how, on a really small scale, how do these casks work together and these flavours work together. Yeah, it's an adventure for us. We love the end result, and we hope everyone else does as well.
That was brilliant. Thanks, Ewan, for that explanation.
Cheers, Ewan.
Ewan's explained the whole thing. So, what do we reckon?
Lovely. What's this word on the end? Phantasmagoria. Do you know what that means?
I can't. Yeah.
It's like kind of spooky, fantastical.
Yeah, I googled it and I've forgotten, but it was
Is it not a reference to something?
Some sort of sci-fi weird.
Yeah.
It smells amazing.
I think it's to do with collaboration, like things coming together, isn't it?
So this one there was 2 casks. One went into a first fill American oak PX hogshead, and the other went into a second fill Oloroso hogshead before they were then married together.
It's a good job you've got your notes, Richard, that's all I'm saying.
What, you expect to remember all that? Give us a break.
Well, I wouldn't remember it, no.
Ask you. Can we insert some video there?
Oh, excuse me.
But, you know, Ewan explains it's like adding layers of flavour. So, you know, we're getting more complexity than just from the single cask, because there are these different elements coming together. And certainly... Well, it feels to me there's a lot going on there.
It feels like the whole journey of the cask has been planned, you know, as opposed to where you might have a cask and you think, well, maybe we could move it to somewhere else, and then you see what the options are available. Whereas these, like you said, the 2 casks were sat side by side, and the intention has always been that they would come together at the end of it.
Yeah.
For me, it's like a sponge pudding, but with a bit of spice to it.
Yeah, treacle sponge pudding.
And then, I mean, it says, I think it's gingers in the name, but definitely something like that.
It's just got like the perfect amount of peat for me.
Yeah,
like, that is like like a lot of people think about really heavily peated TCP heavy drams when you're thinking about Islay, but this to me reminds me of like being on Islay. There's like a really nice maltiness that comes through, and obviously there's a massive malting there and stuff, and it smells amazing.
Yeah, the heavily peated Islay drams certainly have their place, and they're massively popular, but as a kind of more of a go-to, more approachable style, this is something a bit nicer.
And from a distillery that, you know, maybe is not associated quite so much with a peated style.
No, because they do peated and they do non-peated. And initially they were heavily peated, but they moved away from that, I think, because they were doing distilling for blends. I think it was like Cutty Sark and something else. So they started producing non-peated spirit, and these days they've moved back towards the peat. So I don't know, I think it's like 50-50 now.
Yeah, they would definitely release more peated than unpeated stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if one of the 2 casks was actually unpeated. Maybe would that be?
It's a possibility. This is interesting. This is the medium peat, isn't it? It's not the heavy peated.
Yeah, not sure. 2 bourbon hogsheads.
Insert video here.
Yeah. Ewan, help. That's a cracker. We've got one more that we're going to open.
Just one more we're opening?
Well, from the series of the 2-to-1 releases, because there's 6 They've all got information on the labels. So final casks. The first one was first fill American Oak PX Hogshead, second fill Oloroso Hogshead.
You know, I can open this for you if you
All
want.
right, on you go. You can give us
I feel like you're struggling a bit there.
you
Richard,
give us
know.
the information, Calum.
So Anthony, when you're talking about, well, you've told us a lot about yourself, but do you remember? Well, this is something we always talk about, is when you had your first dram. And what it was.
I actually had my first dram just before I was moving to Scotland. Thank you. Because, like I said, I didn't actually fall in love with whiskey just by tasting it and going like this blew me away.
No.
It actually took me maybe until I was 21, 22 when I started working at the Society to really understand what like flavour is from whiskey, and I think maybe it was just because I got a bit older as well.
Plus, sometimes the first things you try are not always the best ones. Anyway, you know, like.
Yeah, I guess so, because the first one I tried was Black Bush from Bushmill, which is my dad's favourite. One of my dad's favourite whiskies. He's much more inclined with Irish whiskey, although he's been through a few of my bottles. Some pretty nice stuff as well that I just asked him to hold on, and then I get back home 6 months later and the bottle's just empty.
Is he from up that part?
No, he's French.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Both my parents are French, but they lived in Ireland for about
okay.
25, 30 years. But yeah, he's mostly drank Irish whiskey then through his life, and only since I've been
So
working in the industry.
Who do you support during the Six Nations, Anthony?
Scotland.
Good answer.
He's not. I don't think he's just saying that. You like them because they're like the plucky underdogs. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's that, and
You feel sorry for us. That's what it is.
Every game I've seen, I just want entertainment and watch sports. And every game I've seen with Scotland, they just always give 100%. It doesn't matter if they lose or they win, but like
They
there's
usually
just like
lose.
there's I just get a really good feel of passion from them, which is quite.
So, but France,
quite fun.
well, no. So by the time this podcast comes out, the France-Scotland game will have happened.
That's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one for Scotland and this weekend. But.
Yeah. Right, Calum, what have we got here?
So this one, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. That's a song as well, is it not? Was it not
Sorry,
Timmy
was
Mallet that sang that? I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. I don't know the next line. Luckily for you. And so this is from distillery number 95.109. It's 14 years old, and this is the Juicy Oak and Vanilla flavour profile. As you mentioned, it's from the 2 to 1. So initial cask is bourbon barrels, and then it's into a refill Trinidadian. I'm making it worse.
Come on, Calum.
Refill. I find it hard to read. I need my glasses as well. That's my excuse.
The font is quite small, to be honest.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't put that bit in about us complaining about the font.
What's going on?
Refill Trinidadian rum barrel. Refill Trinidadian rum barrel. New American Oak HTMC barrel. Coming in at a punchy 62.4%. Yeah, all right.
Right.
This is a Speyside distillery, known for, well, it's one of these workhorse distilleries that we quite often see. Also produced a lot of malt for a blend, a very well-known blend. Should we try it?
I've already got it.
All right, okay.
Yep.
You already poured it, Calum. You've been talking for that long. It's evaporated in the bottle.
I've lost my head. Oh my goodness, that's
Very nice.
That's
Smells
actually
so good.
really nice.
Yeah.
Are we getting the rum? Something there, isn't it?
I just always get like
It's really, I mean, it probably is, but it's really creamy and I get the vanilla pods.
in Bordeaux, you've got these like famous pastries called like cannelés. They're like individually baked in like small copper tins. They've got like a specific kind of shape, and it's basically kind of like a sweet Yorkshire pudding kind of thing. But they add loads of rum in the batter, and I always smell that when it's like rummy ex-bourbon vanilla.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because it says it's a rum cask, but I'm getting rum and raisin, ice cream.
Yeah, I get the ice cream and the raisins, and like definitely,
Lovely richness to
Rum
it.
It's not,
baba.
but you know, the rum's quite subtle though.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have a rum cask and that's quite overpowering, but it's got a really nice balance to it. I think that smells really good.
Yeah, it's a belter.
I've got a fun fact for you about this distillery.
Right.
One of the first distilleries that did further maturation, so one of the first distilleries that took bourbon and then moved into sherry, like as that kind of extra maturation.
Okay.
Before it became like a big thing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, that's a belter.
Yeah.
And these are coming out. Well, they come out at the start of the month. but they are kind of festival releases, and we've got a bunch more. We're not going to crack open each one, but there's 6 in total. 18.76 Moroccan Pastilla. Anyone? I don't know if it's Pastilla or Pastilla. Any idea?
No.
Sounds like it should be Pastilla.
Pastilla, I'd say, yeah. I think it might be like a little pastry.
70.63 Interdimensional Patisserie.
I think these bottle names should be used as a sobriety test in the venue. You know, like if you're worried that someone's had a bit too much to drink, you say, "Can you just pronounce the name of this bottle, please?" And if they pronounce it perfectly, then you know they're okay.
I'm trying.
Because I can't do it when I'm sober.
Sorry, you need to leave.
I kick myself out.
46.152 The Fruit Merchant, and I think there's one more. Yeah, 80.62 Strawberry Sumac Scones. Sumac, anyone?
I know. I was going to ask you.
Sumac, yeah, it's like a spice.
Is it?
Is that a spice?
Yeah, it's quite dry. Like it's more like in like salads and salad dressings and stuff. But I guess it probably refers to like a bit of a dry finish on it.
Right.
Do you know
a
that
bit more spice?
Anthony's parents had a restaurant and he grew up in a restaurant. So hospitality is like
Yeah. You should
properly.
know what
and
sumac
it's-
is.
Well, that's
in my blood. Yeah.
There's more than us, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So a lovely wee range with the 2-to-1 bottles, and this is the kind of first batch. I think we're going to get more coming out in May, but it's something a wee bit different. You know, the whiskey team are always kind of coming up with a different idea, something, you know, just to kind of
Yeah.
challenge our tastes.
Yeah, I think they're quite exciting when we range there. You know, it's
Yeah.
it might not be one single cast, but actually, if we like kind of blur the edges a little bit, then we can get a little bit more creative. Then there's so much fun and actually there's so much to gain
Yeah.
from these interesting combinations of casks.
Right, we've got. I mean, there's so much to get through, but we'll crack on
I
with.
think you say that every week.
Well, I mean, honestly,
Every week,
there
every
is,
month.
because when I look at the bottling list, I mean, we could have more than 20 bottles coming out in any month. 20, 25.
It
So,
is
you know,
absolutely mind-boggling how much whiskey we release every
Yeah.
month. I mean, that is there's so much value in that, but you know,
So I
it can be very challenging at the same time.
Well, I
trying
can
to
only
keep up
pick a
with it.
few to kind of give people a wee taste of what's coming out. But yeah, there's a lot. Open that one up, Tony. I'll dig out some glasses.
If you've got a friend who you think would love to join the society, they can get 20% off their membership, and you can get £20 back to spend on whatever you like. Pretty good deal, eh?
Not bad. And if you're watching this on our website, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We've moved to Whisky Talk _podcast. Underscore is important. Don't forget that. And find us there. Like and subscribe, and don't miss out on any future videos. Right, Calum?
Don't miss out on this.
Don't miss out on this.
Have you ever varnished a wildcat before, Anthony?
Varnished a wildcat.
You never varnished a wildcat?
I'm getting accused from off stage. Have you ever varnished a wildcat? Meow. I did a meow last time. Did I not? When we had Lucy on talking about our cats.
Yes.
The drunk
You did,
cats.
yeah.
Oh,
no,
the
I
cat,
can't.
the cat
Can't do that
tasting.
again. I'm getting repetitive now.
You know, we're doing the guide dog tasting. That's in April.
Gosh, I
the
thought-
society's meant to be trying to raise enough money to sponsor our own guide dog.
It's not the guide dogs that are drinking the whiskey.
So 26.225.
He's bringing us back to...
Varnishing a Wildcat. I thought I'd pick this out because 26 is one of
Almost
our
said the name of
members-
it.
One of our
Oh.
members' favourites, isn't it?
It's just...
Yeah.
It's one of everybody's favourites.
Yeah.
Not even just in the society. Like,
But we've not seen one for a wee
so
while.
we used to be spoilt with the
Yeah.
amount of distillery number 26 that came through. And
Yeah.
the one thing that everybody always says about this distillery,
Waxy.
Yeah.
You can't have a drop without saying the word
Wax.
waxy.
And actually, the story behind that is that, well, a story that I heard was that when it got bought over, and it was, always been famous for this wax quality, it got bought over and the new company, probably the ones that own it now, cleaned out all the equipment,
Yeah.
and, cleaned everything up and got it going, and then suddenly they were like, we seem to have lost this waxy quality in our whiskey. I don't know, they probably filled
Too
all
clean.
this I don't know, like big, what was the word I'm looking for? Like a big dollop of like gunk from
Yeah.
from one of the receivers or something like that. And then I don't know if they were like shoveling it back in, or they just decided that they would maybe not clean that as much anymore. But yeah, they don't know. They don't really know where this comes from.
Yeah.
But I think there's something to be said about maybe not being cleaning too rigorously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone loves this distillery.
Well, that's a belter, isn't it?
the nose on it is
Yeah.
crazy. It's just like it's fruity, like
Yeah.
exotic fruit. I can't figure out which fruit it is, or if it's like a.
Yeah. Certainly coming after those other two, it's so distinctive,
like-
so
yeah.
different.
I get like I think quite a lot of pear in that one.
Is it pears? Yeah.
Yeah, mango,
Yeah, it's a lot.
a bit like that tin fruit salad, kind of intense,
Yeah.
fruity cocktail.
Or
kind of
kiwi
thing.
maybe as well.
Yeah, I was thinking kiwi initially.
Mm.
Were either kind of sweet yellow kiwis or.
Ex-bourbon barrel for 9 years before being transferred to a first fill HTMC barrel.
Oh.
We were talking about this last week, Calum, weren't we? HTMC,
HTMC.
which is a kind of,
I'm waiting for him to tell us about it.
well, it's become like a
It's a bit,
society
yeah.
trademark almost.
Yeah, I didn't. It's something that we hear so often, but actually, when you look into it, it's not something that you hear often, and from other whiskey producers. Yeah, so it's just we're buying casks and we're customizing how the casks are, the heat treatment on those casks. So heavy toast and medium char. And I think that's, you break it down, it's kind of a little bit of the best of both worlds. You know, you get the nice bit of toasting, a wee bit of spice, and then you get the charring, which is, you know, your kind of bourbon kind of caramel and the real sweetness that comes from it as well.
Yeah.
But we've seen them loads and they're really they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see them all the time, and we kind of take it for granted when we talk about HTMC. But then you realise, oh, wait a minute, I don't think anyone else in the whiskey world is using that acronym.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
we need to explain it, but it kind of brings an intensity, doesn't it?
Yeah, complexity as
Complexity.
well. Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I always jump on those HTMC. Doesn't matter. Like I've got like a few key distilleries where it just works brilliantly with like those like 35s,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
they're like 10 or 28, 30 years old. Just a little finish in HTMC, and it's just
Yeah, I mean, you can see there's a wee bit of colour in that.
Yeah.
It's almost like a softer version of a sherry cask. It's got those elements of sort of spiciness and richness to it, but it's a lot more gentle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is ideal, really.
Yeah. Belter. Well,
You've got to stop saying belter for every time you're description.
is that my go-to descriptor?
I would agree with Belter though for this.
What's a
It's
Belter?
just
What's that? Do you call you Jerry Cinnamon? She's a belter.
He's on form today with the songs.
That's the third song that I've done today.
Top of the pops with Calum. Very good.
Well, you're blushing because I
Belter.
pulled you up on the. That's a belter.
one of my favourite. Like, is it a Glasgow saying? I guess is it, or
What?
is it from a show? Is it Fan Dabby Dozy?
Yeah.
That's my.
Yeah. That's the Crankies,
It's the
isn't it?
Crankies, isn't it? Yeah.
me Jimmy Cranky. Don't want to go there.
Are you dancing? Why are you asking?
I'm asking.
Which one's he and which am I? Are you Frankie or are you Josie?
Oh, Frankie and Josie. Oh. Yeah, let's
I've
not
thrown
go
him there.
Yeah. Okay. Right, you take that. I'll dig out the glasses.
Oh, yep, need some glasses.
So we're back on the festival track here, Calum. This is a small batch release,
I love the picture on this. That is awesome.
which is going to be released late April.
Okay,
I think it's late April,
I'll pour some whiskies.
especially for the festivals.
Is it? Right, okay.
Yeah.
The mountains look a little bit more alpine than or does that maybe look a wee bit like Nevis or something, perhaps? And it's got the kind of the forest in the foreground. It's a cool picture, isn't it?
Yeah, nice picture.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very Scottish, but
Yeah. Are you going to talk about this one or am I?
no, you talk about it.
No. So this is one of our Harris releases, as Richard said, it's for the festival, and it's a combination of casks from all 5 whisky regions. We've got, certainly it says here, matured in a selection of bourbon, Oloroso, Pedro Jimenez, and HTMC Hogshead. Back to that again, and I believe that some of these casks have been peated because I've not tried it yet, but
Yeah,
I think there's a
Well-
wee element of you.
there certainly is.
Certainly is. Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
there's quite a few of them that are.
Yeah. But again, it's a gentle peat. It's not
Yeah.
like
Okay.
a smack in the face.
Every time I go to smell it, I get something. It
Yeah.
just smells different.
Yeah.
It's like there's layers and layers.
West of the smoke, which would imply that it's a bit more subtle.
So we wanted to kind of explore the 5 regions, the 5 main whisky regions of Scotland, and bring them together. It's quite a nice concept.
It's a really nice concept.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, and the nose is amazing on it.
Yeah.
It's quite fresh. Like I just think everything's so subjective. When I see that picture of the forest in there, I'm getting a lot of green kind of leaves from, and
Yeah.
you know, it kind of takes you somewhere.
I think
the other thing that's inaccurate about this picture is, and it's definitely not Scotland, is the sun is shining in it.
There's no midges.
What would you call it if it was the honest Scottish version?
Pishin
Doon lost in the forest.
It's got that stamp, Whisky Wanderers Festivals 2025, off the beaten track, and that's really, you know, the events that you're organising.
You're a wanderer, aren't you, Anthony?
Yeah, all about the
every
I was going to ask.
sense of that.
Yeah. We'll not go there, right? I was going to ask you about these. When we talked about a couple of the ideas, they were talking about the foraging one. And what were the other events you've got coming up? You've got doing something in Campbeltown.
We're getting on our bikes in Campbelltown.
Yeah, so Richard's tagging along on that one.
Yeah.
We're gonna go
I'm
cycling.
hopeful, but maybe I could come. But
Yeah, you got an e-bike?
I walked into that one, didn't I?
You'll be fine. It's only
I'd be fine on my e-bike.
It's like 32.
32
I never
miles.
said I wouldn't. I never said I wouldn't be fine. I'm not worried about. It's not that I'm worried about the cycle that I'm not sure if I can come. It's just whether I can get away with it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's
Jesus.
32 miles.
Christ.
Quite a gentle loop, starting and finishing in Campbelltown, going down to the bottom of the peninsula.
Yeah.
And then I think taking in a couple of the sites for the new distilleries that are coming up.
And Anthony's
in
doing it on
Kintyre.
he's doing it on his unicycle, just to make it a bit
We're
more
actually
challenging.
we got a tandem bike,
Yeah.
Richard and I. Yeah.
Matching outfits.
No, it should be good. That's on the Friday
Yes.
of the Campbelltown Festival,
Yeah.
right before Islay kicks off. So
It's
if anyone's
the 23rd. Yeah.
So if anyone's heading to Islay and wants to come down to Campbelltown first, bring your bikes and come and join the cycle. It should be a good day out. And 32 miles, and then we've got a 32-year-old bottle
Yeah.
up our sleeves, right? So
Yeah.
you've got to earn every one of those miles
Exactly.
to enjoy the
Do you know-
tasting at the end.
I was going to ask first of all, were these your ideas, Anthony, or was it a combination of some other people? Or?
I think. Well, yeah.
I think they're great. Basically.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, Richard helped a lot for this. I wanted to do something that was kind of very different with each region, and I thought foraging in Speyside, boat thing related on Islay that we can talk about as well, and then Campbelltown. I think I just approached you and asked you, like, can we do anything? Because I know that you've done cycling stuff
So
before.
he didn't want us. It was his ideas. wasn't
So, but
it? They're good. I think it's great because
there's been a lot of help and support.
I mean, when we talk
from
about the
lots of people.
festivals, and obviously that we're talking about whiskey and we're talking about whiskey tastings, but it's nice to do something that is not just about the whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's a big part of it, and that's going to be, like you say, but you can do something else together, and then you can go and do a tasting.
Well, we were talking about festival memories before, and you know, you guys have been to Islay, you've been to festivals and all the rest of it, and you know, you come back with memories which are not maybe specifically related
Why are you laughing?
to the whiskey.
You have to tell exactly what you're thinking right now.
Yeah.
He instantly started laughing and looked at me. What?
We'll get to Tony. I mean, mine was actually doing the tour to Islay on the bikes. And
Was that during the festival? Or was
Yeah,
it?
it was during the festival a few years ago now, pre-COVID. And we put a shout out, and we got some members to come along, but it was a filthy day. I mean, and it was like we set off from Ardbeg, and the plan was to cycle to every distillery. At that time it was 8 distilleries. Ardnahoe wasn't open yet, but Ardnahoe was open, so 9 distilleries. And we got a wee stamp at each distillery we went to, and we made up a special cycling jersey. And it was a brilliant day out, but it pissed down all day.
Well, that's the gamble, isn't it?
Yeah. But at the end of it, at that time, we'd a relationship with Islay House, and we ended up at the bar in Islay House, and we had our whiskies. And it was like, it was magic, you know, because everyone went away with this memory of a day, that, you know, it was unlike anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was good.
We were talking about what makes whiskey so special, and you know, talking about Scotland, like the home of whiskey. But you know, Scotland is an amazing country for so many other reasons. You know, like especially the West Coast Highland Islands and just stunning scenery. And I think it does us all good to get out there and explore these things.
What's your wee festival story, Tony?
Yeah.
Is it safe for transmission?
I mean, I've already shared them with you off the record. I don't know if there's going to be.
Whoa, have you? Oh, you're talking about, is it to do with Duncan?
Yeah, it was
Is it to do with Duncan and his flatulence?
No, I think
do
it's
not
a
edit
different
that out. A different story. Well,
There's been loads of stories.
last year we
but
were joking about how the headline on the podcast was because
when you
I
crashed the van.
I didn't
Great,
crash the van.
yeah.
I backed it into the fence
Yeah.
before we even arrived at our B&B. How was Duncan's driving the year after that?
He didn't drive anything.
You know, we're not
He
supposed to be
was-
driving.
I was going to, and then we got.
Logan picked up the van.
You were I bet you're a nervous driver, are you?
I was just drinking the whole time.
Fair enough.
No, there's so many memories when you're just
But the
out and about.
The festival's amazing,
festivals
isn't it?
and-
Though?
yeah.
Like it's so much fun, and even just when you're working at it, like it's just great.
Yeah.
And you know, and it lasts a long time, isn't it? Because there's a different distillery every day that has their festival.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, like when that's on, every other part of the island is quite quiet.
Yeah.
Like you think it's going to be like completely mob with people everywhere you go, but actually it's very centralised depending on what day,
Yeah.
you know, where the
Yeah.
festival
And
is
the
that
party
day.
just moves from
Yeah,
place to place.
Yeah.
So you can still go there and have a nice quiet time if you want to. It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Oof, you need your stamina levels to be pretty in good shape.
I know.
That's why
I
it's
was
quite
just going to
good.
say you've
That's why it's
got.
quite good that you do these tastings. You actually do have some sort of other activity apart from
Yeah.
Yeah.
drinking.
Go and cycle your bike for 30 miles.
We've had we always have a few members.
Then you feel like you've earned
that-
it at least.
Yeah, we've all got members that are like quite keen to like kind of follow us on every event we do, and I like meeting them
Your
on the
groupies.
first one, which is like the Monday at the Ballygrant. We have a dinner. We're there all day and like sampling stuff as well, and everyone's quite like kind of perked up and fresh and happy and having a great time. And then like you see them like the next day, and then you see them on the Wednesday at Bowmore, and then like the Thursday is like kind of our last event usually. And like they're just done.
Yeah,
Like, they just
it's
can't
ruined.
do it.
It's quite a slog. Yeah,
And
I
it's like,
think the key is moderation.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate sleep either. Like just
Yeah.
go to bed early.
Yeah.
Yeah, pace yourself for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots going on and lots of great whiskey. This is another festival release, and we're always excited to have a new distillery to add to our roster. And this is distillery 162 with bottle
thank you.
162.1.
Thank you.
I think we've got actually 3 bottles coming out from distillery 162 in April, but we thought we'd open up 162.1 from, how much can we say, Calum?
Well, it's from you know me. I'll just give it away probably,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's from a small island next to Skye that's
Yeah.
called Rassay.
Can you be more specific? Yes, it's from a small island next to Skye.
Did you think I wasn't going to include the name?
I don't know.
I don't know anything else
You
apart.
know what? I
apart
don't
from
think it
that.
matters.
It doesn't matter.
Is it not the island with the most deers? And
No,
stars?
that's Jura.
Jura's,
Is that Jura?
Jura's mad with the deer.
Yeah. You get your facts straight before you come on this show, son.
Right,
I'll
sorry,
tell you,
guys.
you'll be getting booted out the door because I never get anything wrong.
No, this is. I mean, I feel an emotional attachment to this place because coming back to lockdown, this was my last distillery visit.
It takes a
before
lot for
lockdown.
Richard to get emotional.
Well, not that emotional, but you know what I mean. It was my last distillery visit because we were up there and it was March, very start of March 2020, and everyone was talking about the COVID coming in and what might happen.
The
but it-
COVID, you sound like an old
the
lady.
COVID.
The
Yes,
COVID's
yes,
got me
yes,
again.
The COVID's coming, batten down the hatches. And we weren't sure what effect it was going to have on us here, And we were up in Rassay with a brilliant visit. And I remember being outside with Alistair Day, co-founder of the distillery, having a dram, clear night. You're just like, oh, this is amazing. And drinking. I think it was, they hadn't released anything at all at the time. I think it was
They had a whiskey that's called While You Wait. Or
While You
something.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
Tried
in the
that.
style of what
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going to do later in the
Yeah,
future.
and it was just a special occasion. It was a special night, and here we are, like 5 years later, and the society has a single cask from this distillery. So just
It's-
delighted to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always huge when we get a 0.1, and there's a small sprinkling of new distilleries which we're extremely excited about, and this is definitely one that we've been waiting for to come out. The fact that we released 3 in this Outturn is also huge as well, so that gives members much more opportunity to grab one because it's super exciting. And I think this is really quite different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a lot of new distilleries, they really have to be a bit more experimental in what they do for that point of difference. But this is, I mean, this is the first time I've tried this, but I've not tried it yet, I've nosed it or anything like that. But straight off the nose, it's quite strikingly different.
It's very maritime, no? I just find it like quite like getting like oysters and stuff like
It's
that.
a first fill Chinkapin oak barrel. So virgin oak, and this is what the distillery kind of specialises in, is Chinkapin oak. Do you know anything about Chinkapin oak, Tony?
It's not a variety of like American oak, is it?
It's like North American, Eastern North
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
But I thought it was maybe like a hybrid between bourbon and European oak, but actually I think it's a kind of softer, sweeter.
Yeah.
Well, you get softer, sweeter notes as opposed to. Can I say that again?
No.
If you were,
You were doing well there.
I was doing that well. Then I made eye contact with you, and I know inside you're thinking,
Did you
I
memorise
hate
your
it. I
notes?
hate it when he actually tries to remember the notes.
You were doing great.
Thank you. If you were to compare this to like an American oak, I think it's a softer, sweeter version of an American oak.
Yeah, they call it the kind of the sweet oak, because I think it's supposedly imparts more sweetness, maybe more caramel characteristics
Do you know
to the whiskey.
Do you know how to say it in the Latin?
Oh.
Quercus?
Oh,
Is it Quercus alba or is
No.
no.
it Rober?
No,
No.
no.
Want me to have a go?
I want you to have a go.
Mullenbergi.
I've got my notes here. Where is it?
So it's a
Mullenbergi.
full different.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was named after a botanist
Muhlenberg.
called
Okay.
Muhlenberg.
Oh, is it? There
Yeah.
you go. Well,
Yeah, that's why it's called Mullenbergi.
oh.
it's
Yeah,
quite a
Chinkapin
complicated
would
one.
have been a bit of a weird
Yeah.
name to
It's
have.
a
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
name as well.
Because Quercus alba is American oak.
Right.
Quercus robur is European oak.
Yeah, and you get Patria, which is
Patria.
French oak, is it?
As well, it's a different
It's a different
region of Europe.
but it's
but apparently there's like more than 50 varieties of oak, right?
Mm.
like
And even this Chinkapin, it's so similar to Quercus alba that it's kind of almost indistinguishable,
okay.
right? But it is different.
It's different, definitely.
It is different.
I've not seen. I mean, this distillery is very well known for using that type of oak, but you don't see it much elsewhere, so it makes it very interesting.
Well, I think I've seen bourbons, like special bourbon releases.
Yeah. Well, there
you go,
using
maybe
it,
it's more of a
obviously,
bourbon thing,
but
yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
It definitely has a sweetness, you
Yeah.
know, a fruitiness.
I get kind of pine needles with this. I don't know
Oh,
if that's the kind
yeah,
of a tree sappy kind of. Maybe it's maple
Yeah.
syrupy.
Ugh, it's brilliant, and it's such a great wee distillery. You been up there?
No, never.
It's,
No.
It's so worth a visit.
Is it not the best view
I think
from a
it
still
is.
room? It has to be.
I think
Oh, really?
it's my number one view for a Scottish distillery.
I quite like
I will fight anyone.
So you can
Yeah.
see the Coolins of Skye, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
I
best
need to
view
go.
of the Coolins, because you know if you're on Skye, you're kind of like too close to the Coolins, whereas if you're on Rassay, you're looking back across the water and to the Coolins. And we were there in March. There was still snow in the hills. It was clear. Oh, it was just magical.
Yeah.
And Rassay's a beautiful wee island.
I've never been. I'd love to go.
It's magical, totally magical.
There's a view, like, I think, it's quite interesting. I like talking about this, like, view from distilleries, because I feel like that's really important in
Yeah.
experiencing it. But, like, the one in La Cranza in Arran as well, I feel like it's quite underestimated, because
yeah.
it's in a valley. But I remember when I went there a wee while ago with my mum, and we went to the distillery and just, like, left out near the end of the day, and, like, the sun was setting, and I don't know the name of the kind of big mountain that's right next to the La Cranza distillery.
Aye.
But I was kind of
Well,
sitting
it's-
behind it. and
It's under Goat Fell, isn't it?
yeah, and you
It's
could
not that close to us, but it's a bit further away.
but you could just, like, the view from where it was set and stuff was just beautiful. I
Yeah.
thought it was really nice.
But
Yeah.
that is a modern distillery thing, though, isn't it? Because obviously back in the day,
Yeah.
they were just big industrial plants. And
Yeah.
They weren't really bothered. Well, some of them looked quite nice.
Yeah.
But there was certainly no windows. And
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that's definitely a modern thing, isn't it? Like, look at the view.
Yeah.
Because everyone talks about the still room as like, this is where the magic happens. That's the point of the tour where you step into that room and you go,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is exciting. And then to have that kind of amazing view with the scenery
Yeah.
of Scotland in the background.
But Alistair Day told the story about when he went over to Rassay with an idea for the distillery, that when he saw the location, he was like, oh yes, this is the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
You know, and it really is. And what they did was they've renovated an old building and joined the distillery onto that old building. And the old building's
Oh,
a
nice.
hotel, which is a really nice hotel. It's really smart. and the distilleries added on to
Is
it.
there much else in Racing?
That's hee-haw. I mean, there's there's not a lot.
No, right, okay.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on, but it, it's all the better for it.
Is there a pub?
No. There's a kind of outdoor centre place which does, it's got a bar and it does great food, and it's just a short walk from the distillery. So it's magic. It really is.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's really good. I can't recommend it enough, and they're making tremendous whiskey. So here's to Rassie.
Here's to Racing.
Yeah.
You said the name, right?
Oh, have we said it enough? Rassie. Fantastic. Okay, we've got one more bottle to crack open, and it's another festival bottling. You take that one, Tony. I'll get the glasses. Something pretty special, I think.
These are the best.
Not
Yeah.
just because of the number, but do you see the number on that one?
Yeah,
What do you mean the number?
it's my year of birth as well, distilled.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's 35.400.
400, okay.
Yeah. So the 400th cask from distillery 35.
And I heard Anthony say there, I love these ones, and it's something that we both have an appreciation for
Yeah.
from coming from the venues, that
Yeah.
we had quite a good run of toasted
Oh,
hogsheads
My
from this
goodness.
distillery, and they were like some of the best drams that
Oh,
Yeah.
I've ever tried.
And it's not just you and me. I know there's loads of other members of the society. For instance, like Olaf Mayer, one of our brand ambassadors, he loves these batches of old 35s distilled in. Right now, it looks like they've all been distilled in 1994,
yeah.
and they were part of this experimental, part of this kind of experiment from another master distiller before we owned the casks,
Okay.
and then they got shifted over to us back in 2015.
Okay.
So I don't know how many more casks we've got of these,
So
but
this,
I would
all
jump
single
on these.
cask is, finite, but even more so this style of
Yeah.
toasted hogsheads from distillery number 35.
Yeah.
yeah.
29 years
I
old.
mean, we would fight. We've literally, there was I always talk
Physically fighting.
No, but I always talk about the same bottle all the time. I've got at home, the Elgin Marvels, which is a toasted
Yeah.
hogshead.
Yeah.
And we were both like, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take that. And then one day it wasn't there anymore, and it was because I took it.
Unbelievable.
I still got it. I haven't opened it. I can't bring myself to open it.
Yeah.
I should invite I should invite Anthony round, and we can open it together. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
Just need to get my children away for the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah. You don't
God.
want any distractions when you're drinking this.
No.
That is spectacular, isn't it?
It's just like pineapples, like caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm getting kind of cola cubes as well. It's got a bit of a perfumed kind of, just tons going on there.
Yeah.
It's floral.
So much going on. So rich on the palate as well. That's tremendous. 35.400. Quite nice, to reach a milestone. I mean, we obviously see a lot of casks from this distillery, but the members love them. Everyone loves them.
It's really nice because it changes. It's quite got a long finish to it. So when you first try it, the body of the whiskey feels quite light, but actually the fact that it's got such a long finish on it, and it's still got a nice mouthfeel to it as well.
It does, yeah. It does have a really like it.
So it's just perfect.
Yeah, unctuous. Mm. Yeah,
It's like,
you
I
can't
get
go wrong with
honey. I get like honeycomb, more like kind of crunchy.
Yeah.
It's got a wee
That's-
edge of spice to it.
£250.
Wow, that's really good.
I'd say that's
That
really
is-
good.
Yeah.
For a 29-year-old.
That won't last long, I think.
Nah.
Well, yeah, I don't know how many bottles do we have. Only 162 as well.
Oh, that's the other thing I should have said. Apparently, the cask was found to have a leak, so it was a case of all right, let's get that bottled.
A leaky bunghole.
A leaky
A
bunghole.
leaky bunghole. That was like
Nothing worse.
That was the weirdest subject to an email I had to write to one of the guys when we used to keep the casks behind the bar, and it was like subject leaky bunghole. It was just like the bunghole's leaking. You need to help us out.
Nothing worse than a leaky
There's
bunghole.
nothing worse.
So yeah, I mean, even rarer than a normal single cask.
Have you mentioned the part of the festivals bottling? Whisky Wonders.
Have I mentioned it? Have I not spoken enough about it?
Cut that bit out about it. I was too busy falling in
You were
love with this whiskey.
The whole leaky
thinking about-
bunghole thing just got you.
Yes, Calum. Oh, is it festival month? Had we not mentioned that?
Well,
Yes.
it's actually not a festival month because we're Back to the Future here.
Well, I mean, Speyside, Spirit Speyside. Okay, it's not festival month right now.
No,
Cat.
it will be soon.
Eh.
I was telling you how wonderful your ideas were for these tastings that you're doing, but you haven't told us about the sailing trip or a boat tasting. What
Yeah.
was that all about?
So we're working with Islay Sea Adventures, if I remember the name
Are
exactly.
you the captain?
I won't be, but what's quite funny actually is that our accommodation is also owned by the skipper that will be doing the boat with us.
It's
and
not a
stuff.
guy called Gus, is it?
I think you're right, yeah.
Aye.
And he's going to be on the
Yeah,
call
yeah.
with,
Wow.
with you. And
He's good value. If it's
yeah.
Gus, yeah, I've been on the boat with him.
Nice.
Yeah, very good value.
So yeah, members will get to meet him on the what was the name of the call now? The stream that we're going to do at the end of April.
Dramalong.
The Dramalong.
Festival Dramalong.
So he'll be tagging
Oh,
along for
brilliant.
that. He'll do. I don't know if he'll record a piece or anything, but yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, we're working with them, and they just basically they've got 2 boats ready for us.
What kind of boats? I mean, like sailing boats, right?
No, they're like,
Like
what do you call them?
Ribs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, they'll just be cooking some seafood on board. We'll be going along the coast from Port Ellen all along, just get to see the Ardbeg distillery,
That's amazing,
Lafroig,
yeah.
all of that. Hoping the weather's
'Cause
pretty
the
good.
wind- the scenery along there is stunning.
It's
Yeah.
And the first time I ever went to Islay, I came into Port Ellen. I don't always come in that way now.
Yeah.
But and it was like a nice day, and from the distance you can see the distilleries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like one by one as you
And they're
go
all
along.
little coves
Yeah,
as
we
well.
coves,
so
and it's like
to go around on a boat is the perfect way
Yeah.
to do it.
it's
And
really
hopefully-
rugged. Even at sea, there's like lots of rocks and everything. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
And hopefully we'll get to see a bit of like fauna, some seals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Usually at that time of the year is quite.
Some mermaids.
Yeah. Well, after 4 or 5 drams.
You'll get your fishtail on.
I hope it's not too
And
choppy.
you-
Brilliant.
But that's the main event on Islay will be that. Yeah, we'll be collaborating with them and just get some good drams, have a bit of seafood and
Sounds like you've got a
Have some
good
drams
summer
in the
coming up,
water.
Anthony.
yeah,
Hard work but fun.
Yeah, always. Yeah,
You
exactly.
enjoy it. You like your
Yeah,
job.
but of course. I feel like the most privileged person in the company. To be
Oof.
honest,
Nice.
it's a great job to have.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Brilliant.
it's yep.
Well,
Let's cheers to that.
cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yeah. Couple more things to mention. Kind of kicking things off for festival season with our live stream that you mentioned, Tony. Festival Dramalong, 24th of April.
Yeah.
And Mads and Liam from headquarters, they're going to be hosting. And we're going to have some guests, we're going to have some fun, have a quiz.
Liam will be a laugh.
It'll be good
Yeah.
value. Be good value.
For sure. Yeah.
So anyone can tune into that on our YouTube channel. Maybe it's Facebook as well, but go to YouTube, you'll find it. So that's good. So yeah, lots going on. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Tony for coming along.
Thanks for coming.
That's been great.
Cheers. Thanks for
Callum,
inviting me.
nice to see you
Always a
again.
pleasure, Richard.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for the songs. Thanks for the memories.
Thanks for the good times.
Yeah, and see you next month.
See you later.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.